Here we go.
Well, hello there, you amazing, beautiful, wonderful people. I hope you're all well. It's Monday. It's Marvellous Monday. And I hope you had a good weekend. You're looking absolutely amazing, so I'm guessing that you did have a good weekend. And look, this is video 1 of several today. I don't know what the videos are going to be about because this video was actually recorded yesterday. And it's a video that I weren't going to do. But look, I'm doing it because I feel that it needs to be addressed. So for this video only, for now, I'm coming out of Jay Slater retirement. As we're talking about a specific person, that is Dan O Keefe. Keefe. He did a video around the Jay Slater case a little while ago. I'll bring it up on screen. Look. I'm not going to show you it. I'm not going to watch it because it's crap. But what happened to Jay Slater? We have real story. This video's garnered over 38,000 views and was uploaded 2 weeks ago. And this video was about apparently a video that was depicting the attack on Jay Slater. And Dan O Keefe was the person who brought it to the viewers. But that isn't where it originated from. Dan O Keefe didn't go and do his own research. And sometimes as content creators, we depend upon other people to give us information. And sometimes, yeah, that information isn't great. But in this situation, that was horrendous. That was absolutely horrendous. The video in question wasn't of Jay Slater at all. It was a video that was nearly a decade old. Nearly a decade old and had done the rounds for some time. It was a video that had already been injected into the case earlier on. And you can imagine, the family had seen it and this was debunked as not being anything to do with the case, but this was brought out to the audience because there is an audience. Ain't there just? There's an audience for what happened to Jay Slater. And the realism is, nobody knows. I don't know. I've gone over every single thing, and as you all know, I have concluded, well, not all, but not everybody knows, because not everybody can fully understand and appreciate what some people think. But what I did, I looked at everything. I touched on everything. I gave things time in the oven to see whether they turned into that beautiful cake or instead burst into an inferno. And what I very quickly learned, like the Dan O Keefe video, is that there is a lot of people who have, how can I say, they have an imagination that means that they look at things, they feel that something's not quite right, they hear stories. Sadly, some of them stories perpetuate from channels like mine at times because we talk about everything. We talk about all the little intricacies of cases, and some people just take that upon themselves to believe that, okay, if they're talking about it and so said it and this news outlet has spoken about it and this individual, then that must be right and there must be some degree of credibility to it, and it explodes into what is now known as the Jay Slater case. So this video comes out and it's trying to depict what happened to Jay, apparently. He then disappears. Guy vanishes off the face of the planet. And he comes back yesterday. Today. Jay Slater and Britney Spears link, this video here. Now, I'm not watching this video. I'm not. You can see the little red line there. I think I watched about 2 minutes of it, if that. Because it was very clear that this person, Dan O Keefe, wasn't interested in addressing the earlier video. Wasn't interested in addressing what had happened. But I know that there was multiple people involved in the inception of that piece of information. There are people who was involved in that, who was in comments and are still in comments, and they're people who have the audacity to challenge me and my thought process around this case. But they were all involved in this video and pushing it. And then when they realised what they had done, they tried to backtrack and distance themselves from this information. But look, I'm not here to point the fingers or show anyone's names, because I know the vast majority of people who are heavily invested in the Jay Slater case, they don't care anymore. It ain't about that anymore. What they literally want to do now is anybody who goes against the grain, you know, tries to swim against the current, they are now involved in a cover-up of sorts. Like, I've been accused of taking bribes or being threatened. You know, I don't have the balls to come onto the platform and discuss the oddities in the case anymore, because I've been threatened. The funny thing is, it took me stopping talking about the Jay Slater case before any real kind of nasty threats come through, because it was then that I would be accused of being involved in the covering up of the Jay Slater murder, and I had blood on my hands, and for that they felt the need to then threaten me and my children. So, yeah, do you know what I mean? It's an odd one, isn't it? That you get accused of of taking bribes to stop talking about it, but it's actually the stopping talking about it that does rarely lead to a threat. But look, I weren't paid off. I didn't sell out. I weren't threatened. I would ask any content creator around this situation to come out and say whether you have been approached genuinely and been threatened, or you've been offered money in order to stop talking about this case. Let's see how many people come out and actually show the proof of it. And an email or some phone call perhaps that they've recorded. Just some tangible proof that there has been genuine threats from mafia types or cartel types to stop talking about the Jay Slater case. Are there oddities around the Jay Slater case? Yeah, of course there is. But there ain't as many as what is being depicted in social media. Not at all. The vast majority of the things that I spoke about and gave legs to turned out to be nothing. They turned out to be fabricated. They turned out to be lies, or they turned out to be things that we just couldn't find any real tangible evidence that they were part of the case. They just became a thing that we would consider could have potentially been what happened to Jay, because we had been pushed in this direction by certain powers around the Jay Slater case, who had spoken early on about the boats, about connections to the criminal underworld. Obviously, Jay Slater himself sadly being involved in an attack early on, which gave credence then to a possible revenge attack. That even that in itself makes no sense. And there has not been one piece of tangible evidence that would absolutely confirm 100% that Tom Hilton, for instance, was in Tenerife at the same time Jay was. That's the issue that I have. There is no tangible evidence of anything. And the things that have been brought forward, one by one, have sadly been debunked in some way, shape or form. How do I stand at this moment in time? And that is that the Jay Slater case, to me, seems like Jay Slater fell. Now, why did he fall? Was it because he was under the influence of something? Was he scared of something? Was something there that just meant that Jay Slater wasn't making the right decisions? Because I always have done, I fail to come to a conclusion as to why a young lad in his right mind, completely compos mentis, would make the decisions that he made, which would ultimately lead to his demise. There has to be something missing, and I'm not disputing that. But I'm also a realist, and I have not seen any real tangible proof of anything. Just lies, made up stories, fake posts, and for that reason, I was unable to offer any credibility to any story. And I wasn't willing to continue on the carousel of the Jay Slater case. In conclusion, Chris Tenerife, I see comments still floating around that me and Chris Tenerife are in communication. No, after I released my last video, well, that was the video before my last one, he had reached out to me He had given me his number. It's on the screen here, not his number, the email, asking me to contact him because he had some information. I responded to that saying that I'm no longer interested in speaking about this case. It's turned into a shit show, and everybody around it just seems fucking insane. And that's it. We're not working together. We've not done anything. I have emailed him today. I have not received any communication back from him. But that email was with respect of some of the reasons why some of the creators around this case have been given the legs that they've been given. And I feel that it is people like Jay Slater's family who have the ability to rectify what is happening in social media around the Jay Slater case. They are the only ones who can truly steer this case back in the direction that it needs to go, whether that needs to be further into the realms of searching or further into the realms of letting the situation lie. It's the family's decision. And that is it. That is absolutely it. There is no more that I can talk about this case, not without talking about it and talking about the stuff that there is no tangible proof to. So it isn't a conspiracy. It's not about threats. It isn't about bribes. It ain't about working with specific people. It's about that there is nothing tangible to speak about, and I'm not wasting your fucking time with it anymore. I'll catch you all later today.